How long does a slip and fall case take to settle? Dealing with the aftermath of a slip and fall accident can be overwhelming, particularly when faced with medical expenses, lost income, and the stress of recovery. One of the most urgent questions for anyone in this situation is, how long does a slip and fall case take to settle? The timeline for settling a slip and fall case can vary widely, influenced by factors such as the severity of your injuries, the complexity of establishing liability, and the level of cooperation from the involved parties. What is the timeline for settling a slip and fall case? The timeline for settling a slip and fall case in New York can vary widely, ranging from as little as 6 months to several years. Initially, it typically takes about 60 to 90 days to notify all parties involved and start the negotiation process. During this period, your attorney will review insurance policies and gather preliminary evidence, setting the groundwork for your case. Early negotiations may begin soon after, especially if liability is clear and the defendant is cooperative. By around 6 months, your attorney may have completed a thorough investigation, including collecting all necessary medical records and other documentation. This waiting period ensures that the compensation sought is comprehensive and reflects the true impact of the injuries sustained. If the case does not settle quickly during the initial negotiation phase, it can take an additional 6 to 12 months for ongoing negotiations, as both parties exchange offers and counter-offers. In more complex cases, the timeline can extend even further, sometimes taking 3 to 6 years to reach a resolution. This extended period is often due to disputes over liability, severe injuries, or uncooperative defendants. Factors influencing the duration of slip and fall cases. Complexity of the case. If multiple parties are involved, or if the circumstances of the fall are disputed, the case can become more complicated. Complex cases often require more extensive investigation, which can prolong the settlement process. Severity of injuries. This is because it takes time to fully understand the extent of the injuries, calculate future medical expenses, and assess the overall impact on the victim's life. Availability of evidence. Promptly gathered evidence, such as photographs, witness statements, and medical records, can expedite the process. Conversely, if evidence is lacking, disputed, or difficult to obtain, it can delay proceedings. Insurance company involvement. Insurance companies may conduct their own investigations, which can either support a quick resolution or lead to delays if they dispute the claim. The settlement process in New York slip and fall cases. Filing the initial claim. The first step in the settlement process is filing the initial claim. This typically involves your attorney investigating the accident, identifying liable parties, and submitting a demand letter to the insurance companies. Investigation and evidence gathering. This includes collecting accident reports, medical records, witness statements, and any available surveillance footage. The investigation aims to establish liability and the extent of your injuries, which are crucial for building a strong case. Negotiation with insurance companies. Negotiations with insurance companies are often the next step after evidence gathering. This phase can be lengthy, as insurance companies may dispute liability or the severity of the injuries, prolonging the settlement process. Pre-trial settlement discussions. If negotiations with the insurance company do not result in a satisfactory settlement, pre-trial settlement discussions are the next step. These discussions occur before formal litigation begins, providing another opportunity to resolve the case without going to court. Mediation and arbitration. Mediation and arbitration are alternative dispute resolution methods that can be pursued if pre-trial discussions fail. Mediation involves a neutral third-party mediator who helps both parties reach a mutually acceptable settlement. Arbitration, on the other hand, is more formal and involves an arbitrator who makes a binding decision on the case. Going to trial. If all efforts to settle the case out of court fail, the case may proceed to trial. This step is often the longest, involving court scheduling, jury selection, and the trial itself. Trials can extend the duration of the case significantly, but they also offer a final resolution. Collecting your settlement. Once a settlement is reached or a court verdict is given, the final step is collecting your settlement. Defendants typically have up to 60 days to pay the judgment, though this period can vary. Steps to expedite a slip and fall case settlement. Immediate medical attention and documentation. Medical records serve as critical evidence in your case, detailing the extent and nature of your injuries, which helps establish the validity and seriousness of your claim. Ensure that you keep all medical receipts, treatment plans, and doctor's notes. Prompt reporting of the incident. In New York, timely reporting can prevent the property owner from claiming ignorance of the hazardous condition. Make sure to file an official report and obtain a copy for your records. This documentation can be invaluable when establishing the timeline of events and demonstrating that the incident was taken seriously from the outset. Gathering and preserving evidence. Take photographs of the accident scene, including any hazards that contributed to your fall, such as wet floors, uneven surfaces, or poor lighting. Gather contact information from any witnesses and ask them to provide written statements. Preserve any physical evidence, such as the shoes or clothing worn during the fall. This evidence can help substantiate your claim and support your version of events. Hiring an experienced slip and fall attorney. A skilled attorney will know how to work with the complex New York legal system, handle negotiations with insurance companies, and gather the necessary evidence to build a strong case. They can also ensure that all legal filings are done promptly, avoiding unnecessary delays. Common challenges in settling slip and fall cases. Disputes over liability. Property owners and their insurance companies often dispute responsibility for the accident. They may argue that the hazardous condition was not present long enough for them to address it or that the injured party was partially at fault. These disputes can significantly delay the settlement process. To overcome this challenge, it is crucial to gather compelling evidence, such as photographs of the hazard, witness statements, and maintenance records, to prove the property owner's negligence. Disagreements on compensation amounts. Insurance companies frequently offer settlements that are much lower than what the injured party considers fair. They may undervalue the extent of the injuries, the cost of medical treatment, and the impact on the victim's quality of life. To address this challenge, your attorney will need to present a strong case with detailed documentation of all medical expenses, lost wages, and other damages, and be prepared to negotiate assertively. Delays in medical treatment and recovery. Delays in receiving medical treatment and the time required for recovery can also complicate the settlement process. Insurance companies may question the severity of injuries if there are gaps in medical care or prolonged recovery periods. Resistance from insurance companies. They may delay processing claims, request extensive documentation, or offer lowball settlements hoping the claimant will accept out of frustration or financial necessity. Overcoming this resistance requires patience and persistence. Getting the legal help of an experienced Brooklyn slip and fall attorney. The timeline of settling a slip and fall case can be a complicated matter. However, understanding the process can make a significant difference in managing your expectations and stress levels. Each step, from seeking immediate medical attention to gathering evidence and hiring a skilled attorney, plays a crucial role in how quickly and smoothly your case is resolved. While the journey can be lengthy, being proactive and informed empowers you to handle the challenges with greater confidence. Remember, if you've experienced a slip and fall accident, getting the legal help of an experienced Brooklyn slip and fall lawyer can make all the difference. Contact the Kucher Law Group today at 929-563-6780. Don't hesitate to reach out for personalized legal assistance to ensure your rights are protected and you receive the support you need during this challenging time.